doing alright. Another day, another dollar. Or euro, in my case. I just need to throw a little warning into chat, because I know this one's, options, content. Yeah, there we go. Hold on. I figure any game that's gonna give me a list of things that they want to warn me for is probably one where we're gonna want to put a warning up on the chat as well. I do like that games are starting to do that now, though. Especially because, you know, I wish they'd do it for the spiders. Although, to be fair, at this point, if I'm playing a fantasy game, I just assume that at some point a spider is going to land on my head. And it's going to be about 10 foot tall. I really wish they'd stop doing that one. Although I do have to give Elden Ring credit for that. Because they just turned their spiders into hands. And despite the scuttling, much less scary as hands than they are as spiders. I mean, once you factor out the fact that they're as, if not more likely to murder me horribly. What are we doing here? Let me see if I can... Okay, yeah. Okay, we're gonna have to do this with the keyboard, because that is zippy with the controller. I have questions about why you've got that in your store, but I won't ask, because I'm afraid. Where am I? That's... Okay. This is the stop. A little roadside attraction on the outskirts. Oh, okay. I thought that was moving a little fast. A little roadside attraction on the outskirts. You know, one of those spaces in between. We provide refreshment, relaxation, and restoration to weary wayfarers. In between what? Although I feel like I know the answer to that one. What an interesting question. In between spaces, in between thoughts and ideas, in between feelings, but mostly in between journeys. That was the noise to come into? Oh dear, what did you come into, Ingrid? Hey, Para. You woo now? But it's wonderful that you've made your way here. I don't know if you meant to. I don't know if any of us are really here at all, frankly. Most people come here between journeys, whether those journeys are physical, mental, spiritual, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Tonight, you can head out to the highway if you'd like, or you can head to the nearby railway and hop aboard the commuter train. Driving the highway always has a chill kind of vibe to me, though your thoughts may wander to all sorts of topics as you consider the universe around you. There's nothing quite like a late-night drive, is there? So classic. The clerk speaking? Aw, I think it's a cute noise. Although, yeah, I can see why it would be concerning if you just walked in on it. Traveling by train is a more collective journey, in my opinion. Everyone headed in the same direction. Expect a sense of community, but also the kinds of deep, personal conversations that you can only have in a safe space. There's also a nearby park, but it's closed at the moment as they install some new sculptures, and the bus to the airport is running late again. Just check back in next time you're here if you want to learn about those. What should I expect? Expect the atmosphere of a late night journey. Expect introspection. Expect an experience, whatever that experience may be. Maybe you know what you're looking for out there. Maybe not. That's okay too. Sometimes it's nice to see where the journey takes you. But no matter your travels, expect to find others on the same journey. Share your thoughts, your feelings. There's never a right or wrong answer out here. And if you find your conversations too much, or you need help, you can always ask to stop. Just press the back button whenever you're given dialogue options. Otherwise, you can quit the journey or game at any time via the pause menu. I'll always be here if you need to talk to someone. Check back in between journeys. And if you need resources outside of the experience, a link is available in the pause menu as well. Look at the night sky out there. The moon is watching over you tonight. We're all watching over you. That is a deeply ominous phrasing. Still want to know why there's just half a skeleton there. I feel like that some questions just don't need to be answered. So are we taking cars or are we taking a train? Well, I did say a road trip. Trains save the environment. Sure, we can take the train. Each hiker you encounter on the railway will speak to you 3 times throughout the train, relocating further down to another car each time. You can end your journey early by getting off at any stop, or finish the trip by meeting up with the hikers you've spoken to 3 times in the cafe car at the front of the train. You can end a conversation early at any time by pressing backspace.
Welcome to Infinity Rail. Thanks for joining us tonight, folks. As we hurtle through space together, I ask that you be kind to your fellow passengers. These rails that stretch between all of our origins and destinations are etched into a shared landscape. No matter what your travel plans are, this is one connection we all share. Perhaps the basis for a bond, or the underpinnings of understanding. We're all heading in the same direction. And I know the regulars always enjoy a friendly chat. There's plenty to see, and seats are not assigned, so feel free to move about the train.
Hey there, is this your first time on the track? Nothing like a long train ride to gather your thoughts after a tiring day. A bunch of people all on the same tracks, all of us on separate journeys, but journeying together. We're all headed in the same direction. Where are you headed? Someplace new. Off to see new sights and new sights, eh? There's a lot to see now, new folks to meet, too. I like the train. You can get to go somewhere, maybe even see someplace new, but you just get to sit and enjoy it. You're not in charge. The tracks just go in one direction. It's like reading a good book, just along for the ride. I read one once about 3 lovers navigating the seas together. They encountered sea monsters, mysterious islands, and gods of the waves. What kind of islands? Homes of witches and spirits, jungle mazes with temples in the middle, misty grottos filled with bioluminescent polygons. They each had their own reasons for the journey, different things they were looking for. What they found, predictably, was each other. I found a love of story and journeys. I gotta get some more writing done. Come back in a bit. That actually sounds like a book I want to read. reason for the soundtrack, I'm guessing. The soundtrack did sound very nice, so if anyone wants to give that a listen. Oh, hey there. Just resting my eyes. Been a long day, you know? The commute is a chance to rest, or at least an opportunity to look out the window and just dream a little. I enjoy daydreaming. Man, train rides are the best for daydreaming. Usually, I think, because they're usually longer than bus rides, so you can't just, like, sit down, plug out. No harm in a little imagination, as long as you don't get lost in it. I daydream about winning the lottery and what I do, but I can't let myself rely on magical thinking. Sometimes, when I'm really asleep, the dreams I dream feel so real. A dream about a loved one dying or a breakup. I'll feel so viscerally sad in the dream, and then I wake up to discover it wasn't real. But still, that feeling follows me all day like a fog. Sometimes it's hard to differentiate the dreams from reality, especially in a world that sometimes doesn't seem real, doesn't seem like it could be real. Life is full of things you won't find believable if they happened in a movie, but there they are, weird little moments happening all the time. Maybe it is all a dream, all of reality, just a collective dream we're moving through together. Like Jung? There you go, Parrot, this one's for you. Like Jung's collective unconsciousness.
Next stop, Infinity's Edge.
Commonalities across cultures speak to a universal experience, for sure. The archetypes lose a lot of the subtleties that make different people unique, though. Can one person's lens really apply to everyone? If reality is a dream, who's the dreamer? Maybe it's just us. Ugh, fucking Jung. No one wants to hear Carl. Good news, I think we talked the guy to death. Or to sleep, at least. Yeah, death wouldn't be good news, I don't think. Can I swing back and sit in an empty seat? I mean, yes, but we're not going to exit. We're going to keep going. Nope. Hey there, heading home too? The end of another day, the end of another week. We're ready to do it all again. I have a lot to go yet. Yeah, it's a Tuesday.
At Infinity's Edge.
I've got a lot to go yet. No rest for the whatever, eh? Just be sure to take a break when you can, too. No sense burning out. We work all day, and even when it's work we enjoy, we still get home at the end of the day, mentally exhausted. I don't like how realistic that's getting. You want to do something, start that new book, do some writing, talk to an old friend, but all you have the mental energy for is that show you've seen before, or the endless scroll. Didn't have to go straight for my throat there. Stuck in capitalism. And there's no easy solution to that, is there? We just have to do what we can, try to find the time to do what we enjoy, and surround ourselves with people we love. When I finally have a little time, I always get inspired to do something new. Then I don't have the time to finish it, and I end up with 100 unfinished fragments. Look at all these windows, these screens, fragments of me. I just want to express myself, but my identity is fragmented. All these windows, windows into who I am. Who I am is unfinished. We're all unfinished. I guess that's true. All of life is a journey of addition, of evolution, of learning and becoming more and more complex. There's never a true completion. Maybe I'll get some more work done. Hacking the Pentagon on the train? I mean, constantly moving. Not the worst place to do it, I suppose. Okay, that guy is levitating. I have to talk to you. Another journey, another experience, another story. What do you think? Are these stories important to you? Yes. All stories are important.
If you look out the left side of the train, you will soon catch a glimpse of the Cloud Commune. Residents thought they found a formula for utopia, but it didn't last, and they could never reproduce their results. The math did not change, but the people did.
Ooh, You can see the train go by. Oh, that's cool. You may have missed the comment, though. That is beautiful. You're not wrong there, but think about how these stories might be important to you, personally. Old stories have power.
Next stop, Disappointment Lake.
The power to shape us, to shape our beliefs, to shape our whole culture. Beliefs and falsehoods inextricably intertwined with fact and experience. Just as important. Take the horned helmet. So ingrained in much of our imagery of the Vikings, our stories about them, so impractical in battle, never mind the fact that there's no evidence Vikings ever wore them. The Viking horned helmet was an invention of German costume designer Karl Emil Doppler for a performance of Wagner's Ring Cycle in the 1800s, taken from ancient German ceremonial headdress. And then the image stuck. Images are sticky. They are, like stories maintained throughout the ages. Our brains cling to evocative details, to symbols that can mean different things to different people. Meanwhile, of course, the real Vikings sailed as far as the Middle East for trade and cultural exchange and reached the Americas long before other Europeans. But you see this kind of thing all over our culture. Depictions of an afterlife taken far more from a 14th century poet than actual religious texts. Imaginings of the Spartan fighting force from a comic book more than historical
now
record.
At Disappointment Lake.
Well, we're definitely not getting out at Disappointment Lake. Stories are powerful. They shape what we believe, what we think, how we act. Act well, this story. Oh, this is the end of the train. This is the end of the train. Where's our little bug friend gone? Okay, looks like we're getting off at the next stop.
We here at Infinity Rail are happy to support the artists in our community and hope you enjoy the live music. Please don't disturb the performer while they are working.
I still can't tell if those are trees or owl people. Or hypothetically both. Nope. Hold on. I'm gonna get there eventually. Never mind. I guess I sit where the light sits. So, how are you guys doing tonight? How are you finding the impromptu philosophy session? Ooh, you got a new PC? Nice. Oh, yeah, you mentioned that, didn't you? I think I'm gonna do a...
Next stop, Resilience Peak.
Ah, I think that's us. It's a much less concerning name than Disappointment Lake as well. Somebody up there? Oh no, it's the overhead cart. Well, I'm not gonna exit while it's still Wait a minute. Oh, this is a continuation of the train. I thought this was Disappointment Lake. Hello again. There's something special about all of us heading in the same direction. A community, a collective journey. Lots of people have tried to show that we tell the same stories, all of us around the world. Archetypes, common patterns to journeys and heroes, the 7 common structures. Of course, it's not really true. Examples are cherry-picked and full of Western bias. Imposing archetypes on other cultures can be a pretty big stretch. Not every civilization truly uses the same patterns.
Yeah, that is probably an act of colonization.
Now arriving at Resilience Peak.
I do have to. Oh, never mind. Oh, okay. I can't click on it.
You forgot how good the hearing is in those robots?
Yeah, it's upsettingly good.
Forcing other cultures into your mold? Yeah. It takes away from our ability to see the beauty and difference. History isn't made by solitary people on mythic journeys performing great acts. It's made by the multitudes, the people who stand up or help each other, communities and cascading decisions and culture. Truth is complex. We could do with a new model of storytelling other than that, but I think the one we have has value and it doesn't need expanded, not replaced. Replace the hero's journey with something else, a community journey that doesn't focus so much on the linear narratives of elite heroes, something that better acknowledges cycles and collective effort. But there are common human stories: survival, love, attempts to explain the cosmos. I'm writing a new story, a story about friendship, of being on a journey together. A little on the nose, I know. Come back later and maybe I'll tell you about it. Is our funky little insect friend in here? No. Aw. Oh, yes, I missed him earlier. You an insect? I hope so. We all sit on this train, all going in the same direction, inevitably, unstoppably. Oh, sorry, I was just wondering about how much control we really have, whether we really choose our paths through our lives, or whether it's all determined already somehow. Maybe
Hey,
it's
friends.
the dream.
Keep vigil at the window to our left to catch a glimpse of the old decommissioned Cosmic Memorial Bridge. For decades, workers toiled to span the valley, believing that once their work was complete, the future would come. The future did come, but all too soon it left the bridge behind, and now all that remains are memories.
Cool. A little emotionally devastating if you think about that one too long, but I suppose that's the point. Maybe it's the dream or the simulation or whatever it is. Think about this train. The rails just follow one path. We can't change that. We all just follow along. You think our lives are different? Yes. Objectively. Maybe. But neurons can begin gathering the energy to perform an action before we've even consciously decided to act. Does that not preclude free will? Every action we take, every decision we make is done by neurons firing along paths that are built from genetics and environment and experience. How can we say that something we do isn't determined by all that we already are? Sorry, maybe I'm just tired. My dad would love this game. He did a philosophy bachelor's, I think? He might have gone beyond that. He might have gone for, is it a doctorate that's after bachelor's? But he loves, like, deep, thoughtful stuff that I don't understand the
Stop.
entirety of.
Ideal City Center.
Life, work, the sheer speed of news and culture keeps us busy, even when there's nothing to do. The anxiety hits hardest when I have time to breathe, because then what I do with my time isn't a given. The choice I make is the choice of who to be in that moment, what I find most important to express or be. We're always choosing who to be. True, there is always only this moment, with all the moments stitched together into the story of who you are. Sometimes we have more choice than others, though. You have an expectation of what your life will be when you'll know who you are. Adulthood, career path, maybe family. But that's all a lie and unwarranted expectation. I had no models to latch onto when I needed them growing up. A lot of queer folk feel like we go through teenagehood a second time when we finally find ourselves. We have to explore and experiment and create an identity all over again. So I latch onto any piece of my identity I can find when there's been so little in news and culture.
Did you know Apollo had the most same-sex lovers of any of the Greek gods?
Now
I
arriving
don't know enough about
at
Apollo to
Ideal
make
City
a
Center.
moral judgment on him, but Greek gods makes me think maybe we shouldn't. That one just seems a bit naff, but kinda correct. I mean, I'm thinking one of these two.
All aboard.
Sure, this is what I'd probably say in this situation, or the closest to it. Apollo's a worthy muse, and probably has committed multiple crimes. Well, he was the leader of the muses anyway. But yes, art, poetry, music, healing, beauty. I found a connection there, a concept I could latch onto. We look at Achilles and Patroclus. I don't know how to pronounce that. Patroclus? And see an obvious couple, a loving relationship. Was it true? Was Homer would have seen it that way? It doesn't matter. We see it because we need it. A fragment of our identity. Whew. That's true. Not gonna lie, kind of feel like this game is making direct, uncomfortable eye contact with me at this point. Gen Zero has separate slots for worlds and characters, so I can do co-op and have a single player stuff separately. Brilliant. I look forward to getting absolutely murked by multiple robots later tonight. And then again, in public. I believe this is an important journey for you. Why did you decide to speak with me? I am interested in your story. I'm flattered. My story is mostly one of being interested in other stories. Stories about stories. Belief. The stories we hear, the stories we internalize, shape our belief. The stories we're told as
Next stop,
children.
Apollonian Acres.
The ones we're told through media, and by those we choose to surround ourselves with. They influence what we believe, and what we believe shapes our stories in turn. Belief has power too. Beliefs shape how we act, how we try to shape the world. Religious beliefs, certainly, but any personal belief too. What we believe has value. What do we believe our purpose is? If we believe that we can create a better world, we can find a path to actualizing that. If we believe there is no point, that path will not materialize. What do you believe? A better world is possible. Every step forward is a step worth taking. I believe so too. We must have hope for the future, even if it is couched in skepticism or despair becomes the only path. Perhaps our beliefs literally shape the universe, or the beliefs of some gods, some creators somewhere. Does gravity only work because we subconsciously needed an explanation for why we're stuck on the ground? Of course not, but maybe. Believe what you will about this journey, but know that it will shape how you experience it.
Hey folks, just a friendly reminder that you're not alone out there. We're all on the same journey together, and we hope to see you again. Now arriving at Apollonian Acres.
Is carriage empty? Maybe. Ooh, that's a pretty sky. Okay, I was a little worried about I was about to get run over. This kind of reminds me of The Long Dark. The art style, it's very nice. Oh, I think I see our little insect buddy down there. Oh. Hey buddy, how you doing? Oh hey, I keep nodding off, but don't really get any sleep. I keep thinking about our conversation, determinism and all that. When I got on this train, I committed myself to a journey I can't change now. My destination is decided by my past action. You chose to talk to me. You chose to talk to me. When I was young, still just a child, I made some mistakes. I treated some people very badly. Not just bullied or whatever, I hurt people. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was young, ignorant, unempathetic. That doesn't feel like a good excuse. People still got hurt. It hangs over me. Not always, not every day, but I think about it sometimes. It's part of me, part of my past. I can't get rid of it, can't change it as much as I'd want to. It affects how I act now. It must be part of that neural net that guides every action I take. And it must affect them even more, probably. Do they live with the memory of what I did? Is it a trauma for them?
The exclusive Prospect Peak ski chalet is up on our right. Though you might have to crane your neck to see it atop that mountain. Infinity Rail does not offer service there. Sadly, not everyone gets the same prospects in life.
Does my past define me? Does it define who I hurt? Are we doomed to be forever controlled by those past actions? Are we all just on set rails? Did I have any control then? Do I now? Oh, This is a conversation I could be having from the PC's perspective. Hypothetically. If I didn't throw coffee in his face as soon as he showed up, which is a non-zero chance of doing that. I've been to therapy. Learn from the past. If it defines us in any way, it's what we learn from our mistakes. I'll certainly never make the same mistakes again, if I can help it. I don't know, but I'll think on that. Thank you. Sitting and thinking and dozing probably doesn't help. I think I'll stretch my tail. Thanks for the chat. Cool, that was... I'm gonna have to sit with that one later. Hands up everyone that just got super slightly uncomfortable and way too familiar with that conversation.
Next stop, Apprehension Valley.
Cool, that's a good name for the next stop, definitely. Anyway. I met them one day when I was getting away from my parents, down at the water. We became fast friends, playing games of make-believe, telling each other stories of sea monsters and gods. One day we found a secret island out in the water. When we were there, it seemed like time stood still. We'd played for hours and hours, or sit quietly and dream as the stars rose and fell. And when we came home, no one had missed us. There's magic in connection. I don't think it's parents not caring. I think there's probably, one, there's a chance they know where you are, and two, life is so fucking busy, man. There's so much happening all of the time. We are beings that yearn for connection. Maybe that's all it was, a feeling of magic in our friendship. Maybe it was more. Some folks you like, you enjoy their company, you're good friends, but they still take energy to be with. You get tired eventually, you need a break. But they were so easy to hang out with. We could sit for hours or sit in silence. There were no expectations, no demands, no hurt feelings or drama, just existing together. I am now making direct eye contact with Ingrid. You ever have one of those friends who takes no energy at all to be with, who you can enjoy just being around, even if you're not doing something together? Yes, indeed. Hold on to those friendships if you can. They're the ones that can last forever. Bonds that hold the universe together. It's one of the reasons I'm writing this. We all need a connection of some kind, and those connections are out there. The stories are out there, waiting to be heard. We're not solitary creatures. We're on this journey of life together. We're all headed in the same direction. Where are you headed?
someplace new. Then I wish you well on your journey. Maybe you'll forge a new bond. It's been nice getting to know you a bit more. Maybe I'll see you up in the meal car. Enjoy the journey. That is a perfect descriptor of how I feel when I'm hanging out with Ingrid. Yes, I'm doing this publicly. Get publicly appreciated, you nerd. All those pieces of identity unfinished. You know why I didn't have models, of course. When some parts of your identity aren't hereditary, you don't always grow up with them. But more than that, they were taken from us. A piece of my history is missing. We have so few elders, just stories on a quilt. It is an injustice. To put it mildly, and similar injustices are happening to so many communities even today.
Sojourner Valley.
It's not a story that's over. It's just one part of my identity, one window, one tab. It floats unmoored. But I reach across that space, that void. People who died, unrelated to me, who I never met, who are nonetheless part of me, part of my identity. They were there first. They know what this part of me is like. And so many before them too, not silenced by death, but culture, religion, or simply revision. And so we open what windows we can. We look to Apollo and Hyacinthus, to Achilles and Patroclus, to King James and his Earl of Buckingham, to the voices lost to disease and an uncaring world. We gather fragments of ourselves together. We yearn to express ourselves, to make art, to be there for the next generation. And we hope they'll have time to start a new book, do some writing of their own, talk to an old friend, and to have a teenagehood as teenagers. Cool. Straight in the gut. Our culture is defined by the stories we tell too. What stories loom large in our collective imagination? Which ones are told over and over, in media and on the news and in our dining rooms? And our culture,
Now arriving at Sojourner Valley.
It's the most important piece of this. It shapes our lives, and it shapes the lives of millions around us. It shapes what we believe is valuable, what we believe is worth doing, or worth stopping. It is defined not just by our old myths, our ancient stories, our cultural heritage, but also our new myths, our movies, our obsession with celebrity gossip, social media, propaganda. It is a whole new world of interconnectedness and shared culture. I agree with that. And I think that's a positive. And as a result, culture rushes forward at an unprecedented pace, and oftentimes in many different directions at once. Culture shapes our lives, and yet we so often find our culture divided. Technology, niche communities, echo chambers, giving rise to cultures directly opposed, even as they live next door. The stories we tell can also help keep our cultures alive, maintaining shared values through time, or when surrounded by a society that seeks to assimilate our lives.
Good evening, folks. Just wanted to point out a special site we're coming up on. The Community Falls. All frozen solid. A still snapshot of tumultuous motion? A picture of respite in a busy world? Or the image of flow interrupted?
The announcer has a really good voice for this. It's very smooth. Community and identity defined by and maintained by the stories we tell. Stories have staying power. Have you learned something from these stories? Yep. Straight in the gut. We too seldom interrogate our own beliefs, our own identities, simply living in them day to day. I'm glad you have found value in introspection here. Others have stories to tell too. Maybe I'll hear some new ones over a meal.
You're here on your own journey, and no one else will ever really know what that journey is. But we're all on our own journeys, and maybe our stories can help you too.
So I just want to say, if anyone finds any of this getting particularly heavy, please feel free, like, you're not obligated to stick around if it's getting heavy.
You may be nearing the end of your trip with us. There's still time to take in the sights from our observation lounge. When you're ready, just take a seat. Join in a conversation and see this journey through together. Next stop, Ondo Park.
I love seeing all these stories come together in one place. It's good to see you all. It's nice to remember that we're not alone out here, that we don't have to struggle alone, but we have a collective history of people struggling and overcoming together. This will make for a good story someday. We can't change what came before, but we can choose who we move forward with, and that changes everything. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm gonna skip through the credits, I think. Yeah. And then we're gonna try out taking the car. I may have underestimated the emotional oomph of a well-written story. Hey there. Nice night out here. I've seen you on the train, yeah? It's a good gig. Taking a break now, though. I like your music. I did actually take a listen to the music before I turned it off for tonight. It is quite nice. Oh, thanks. I burned some CDs at the internet cafe, but I don't have any on me. Music's an important part of my life, but it's always tough when you make a hobby into a career. You need a new hobby or something else to change things up. I get involved. You know, important causes and things. Community organizing, protests against fascism. There's a reason I wear a mask. But music's still my main gig. Navigating the waters of being an artist in late capitalism, you know how it is. Digital, vinyl, busking, selling. These are the things I think about. Stop by if you want my take. Ah, I'm taking a break for now. Come back another time. Yeah, that is fair. Okay, that's probably not what I thought it was when at the first glance. Definitely didn't immediately jump to Love Hotel. Oh, the skeleton's gone. Hello. Welcome back to the stop, traveler. I hope your journeys have been insightful. Oh, also, I know the fridges of our cool zone are a little empty, but we're slowly restocking. Take a look. And if you haven't seen yet, the bus to the airport is now running, and the nearby park is open. If there's anything I can do for you, just let me know. About the journeys, what's available, what to do. How does this work? Just to see what they're going to say, I think I've grasped the concept. It is difficult to explain exactly how one is supposed to experience a journey, especially in this place. There are no correct answers here. There are no irrevocable decisions either, so try not to worry about doing it right or missing out. The first thing to do is to pick which type of journey you would like to experience. Different journeys have different rules and different ways of moving through the world. Different types of journeys elicit different kinds of thoughts in the hikers you will meet, and hopefully in you too. The ultimate goal of each and every journey is something only you can determine for yourself. The most basic principle is to let your mind wander as you wander through the spaces nearby, and then, after each session, you'll find yourself pulled back here. Does that help? Yes, thank you. Wonderful. Please let me know if you have any other questions. Let's go see. Ah, yeah. Some new juices. I'm guessing it's one for everyone we've met so far.
Ah, gamer juice. I doubt there's a single one of us here that aren't deeply familiar with gamer juice. I do not like the connotations of bug milk. Oh, it's still the skeleton in the reflection, though. And there's no cashier. And yet, this isn't the kind of game that makes that feel creepy. Okay, putting it to you guys again, since we've got our two other options open. Are we taking the bus? Are we taking the car? Or are we going to the park? Bus drives have good vibes, they do. Right up until the guy next to you decides to snore for 3 hours. Move freely through the terminal at your... Did I pick those up? Move freely through the terminal at your own pace and speak to any hikers you encounter if you want. The first time you go on this journey, there is a predetermined end. In subsequent journeys, there is no end. Exit the journey via the pause menu whenever you want. It's possible that the bus takes us straight to the terminal, and the conversations are in the terminal. It does, okay. I did not realize that. Ooh, hello. That was
Welcome
terrifying.
back, and to those just joining us, good evening. The top story tonight, travel delays.
I can jump.
We have similar reports coming in from all of our affiliate stations. Everything has come to a standstill. So
Am I getting
settle
higher every
in for
time I
what
jump?
appears to be a very long night, wherever you are. Your news team will be hard at work obsessively covering the story from all angles. But if I may offer some advice, instant replays will not rescue you from an ongoing crisis. There's no use fostering regret or fuming about what could have been. Whatever happens, we'll be here throughout the night to keep you company. But first, a word from our sponsors.
The jump button was a surprise. I will now be... This is our primary mode of movement now. Even if it does get faster every time I do it, or higher. What are the destinations? Dusty Depths, Rendition, Vedas, Campbell, Spirit Town, Serpens Aquila, High Orbit, Gua 9, Pilgrim's Pass, East EP, Ariat Summit, and Gua 9. Gua 9 sounds like a planet. Or Gua. Oh, I found the bathroom. So it looks like there will be no bus drive. But there is a terminal. Hold on. Was that a ghost table? Oh! Oh, I'm leaving tracers now. Does jumping change the color? No. It seems to be distance related. Oh, that's fun. Okay, hold on. No, I do actually have... There is a point to doing this. Hello? Oh! Hello? Airport terminals are scary enough. Abandoned, empty ones with broken TV screens are significantly more terrifying. Ooh. Oh, that is. Ooh. Oh, there's an upstairs, but also I want to see how many of these I can collect. What are these? Coat checks? Oh, they're stores! I've never seen an airport store, like, properly closed before. Oh, I think those disappearing things are customers, maybe? Maybe. Oh, I can't hear the chimes. Okay. That one's unfortunate. Let's see what we can see before we head upstairs, because I think upstairs is the next place to go. Oof. Well, that was terrifying. Yeah, there's just ghost customers. Oh, that's the person. In my youth, before I discovered how to use my craft to cross great distances, I spent much time in airports such as this. I was fortunate, given the gift of travel from a young age. Ever since then, spaces such as these have deeply resonated with me. There is a resonance to all things, waves we surf that touch other waves, impact other places. These processes intensify some aspects and mute others before coming together to create a fuller whole. By the way, have you surfed the waves and curves around this place? There are some great ramps to slide down, gain some momentum. It is very fun. This certainly is unlike most airports I've been in, and I feel a bit safer, freer here too. Nary a rent-a-cop in sight. Resonance can apply to so many things, whether literal or metaphorical. Architecture and space, sound and music, stories and narrative. Tell me more about architecture and space. Through architecture, spaces can be made to resist resonance, to have sounds within them be clear and without reverberation. Or they can increase resonance to provide the booming echoes of an arena or the long-sustaining and ethereal reverb of a European cathedral. There's much more to architectural resonance than how it shapes and interacts with sound, however. Architecture, like any and all structures, is a vehicle for meaning, a way for ideas to be held and communicated. Ideologies can be enshrined by sculptures, facades, and entire campuses. Within larger structured systems like cities or campuses, individual structures exist in dialogue. By that, I mean that through the minds of observers, these buildings pass and shape meaning, but also that meaning is shaped by the relationship between the buildings themselves. Architecture is always a stage for the actions of its inhabitants, too. In this way, it can intensify their actions or disallow other forms of interaction. Like any craft, it's more complex than it seems and can affect us more than we think. It's so easy to overlook complexities when you don't intentionally study them, but it's nice to at least have an appreciation for all that goes into somebody's work. We talking about acoustics right now? A little bit, yeah. It's architecture mainly, but how it affects acoustics. Sound. Tell me more about sound and music. Physical resonance is all about how waves of force bounce and reverberate and play off each other. For me, that always comes back to sound. In audio design, you're often shaping sound with filters, sometimes cutting things off so only certain parts of the spectrum remain. But when you do, you also have the option to amplify the part of the sound wave nearest to the filter's edge. I didn't understand that sentence. In this way, what almost gets cut off but survives is amplified to create beautiful sonic texture. Destruction and construction happening at once. Survival creates beauty. Necessary. All creation necessitates destruction. I don't know. Maybe to a degree. Seems a little. Greedfall is £9. Maybe you should give it another go. Yes! Do it! Do it! I will pay you the £9. Survival in the face of destruction creates beauty. In people, it can also create trauma. Through healing, even that can be made beautiful. There can always be transformation. Stories. Tell me more about stories and narrative. Resonance in storytelling, of course, is about trying to create or shape waves of meaning and experience that will impact the audience's body and mind. The words or ideas resonating with something inside of you, bouncing around in your mind or your heart long after you finish the story. An idea is presented early in the story, then, partway through, another, then a third, all building structure around something profound. Then, at the climax or conclusion, a final thought, and like a harmonic chord, all the previous ideas ring out again, bringing it all together. Resonance is a way to understand how stories impact us so much, even when they don't happen to us. Stories create empathy, and thus let us resonate with each other, too. Resonance is a physical mechanism around how waves of sound are shaped, honed, or filtered by their travels through space. And the same can be said of all of us, a metaphysical mechanism around how waves of influence are shaped, honed, or filtered. Ideas, culture, even our own understanding of our own selves are shaped by the spaces we travel through, by the structures built around us that we accept or try to break through. And if we're lucky, we find something in this world that truly resonates with us. What do you resonate with most? Music. Didn't need that one. Did not need to think about that one. Ah yes, it tugs at my heartstrings too. I have played many instruments over the years, but my favorite by far is the bass guitar, and it's for the simple fact that I can feel so clearly the resonance of the note, the reverberations of the wave through my body, blood, bones. Does she have a floating bunny? Yes, I think so. Let's see who else is out there. Hello? Oh, and I'm getting stuck in the rafters. Let's see who else is out there by going this way. Here's a question though. Greedfall or Spiritfarer? Ooh, that is a... Ooh. Okay, I like Greedfall, but Spiritfarer. Ooh, she's in another class. I'm gonna have to say Spiritfarer. She is in a class of her own, I think, that one. I still need to finish Spiritfarer. I had to take like an emotional break from that. Yeah, Greedfall I think you could get through without having to confront some thoughts about yourself. Spiritfarer is going to make you make eye contact with some stuff. Whee! I think we've looped the airport, the ground floor. I'm not sure actually. Ooh, that looks relevant. Hello. Oh, it's a chime. And sadly, we can't hear those.
With that weather front holding steady, the forecast shows no sign of change. But that doesn't mean that change isn't possible. Change is inevitable, and change can come from within. Look at where you are with fresh eyes. If uncomfortable or undesired thoughts arise to cloud your way, that's okay. Though they may loom large, just bring your attention gently back to this moment. The sounds you hear, the sights you see, the movements that you make. Let go of frustration or fear, and allow thoughts to come and go, as all weather must.
think I'm gonna have to come to terms with the fact that the TV might have a license in therapy. Let us see what we can see. Ooh, baked goods. I should go to the bakery tomorrow.
You can achieve your goals by letting go. To illustrate this phenomenon, we turn to another story in the Zhuangzi. The sage's text describes an enlightened chef of great skill, Cook Ting, preparing ingredients in a dazzling display of speed and precision. As soon as the performance is finished, what was once singular and whole falls into an assortment of perfect pieces. When asked how their skill could reach such heights, Cook Ting replied, "What I care about is the way, which goes beyond skill. When I first began to use my knife, all I could see was the object I was cutting. After 3 years, I no longer saw the whole, and instead saw the pieces. But now I go with the way, and I don't see with my eyes. Perception, judging, and understanding stop, and spirit moves me where it wants. I guide the knife through the openings and trace the structures as they are, instead of focusing on how they could be. Great changes do not always require great effort, and breakthroughs are not always the result of blunt force. Trace the possibility space as it is, to find your way forward."
That one might be a little lost on me, I think. I wanted to check upstairs in the cafe area, see who or what I can see. The answer does not appear to actually be anybody. Maybe there's someone downstairs. Hello? The TVs are talking directly to me. Is there anyone out there? Oh, there's a light on. Hey, it's our writer friend. What are the little red things floating around? They're big speed boosts. And you can chain them together. So the way the airport's shaped, you can ramp up some of the furniture and just kind of hang around. I'm not very good at that, so I've mostly just been firing myself into walls trying to. It's fun though. And I don't have to worry about, physical injury, which is nice. There's so much space here when no one's around. Stuck here too, eh? A journey aborted, yet here we're left in its own kind of liminality. Where are you headed? I'm not sure. Maybe I was just headed here. A different kind of space, then. A differently structured kind of journey. The structures we move through can change so much of how we experience a movement. Sometimes we move through structures and it doesn't even feel like we're the ones moving. Conversations can move ideas forward or propel us to new actions. Of course, how we structure conversation also changes how we interact with it, and thus how we experience it. A natural flow of conversation from point A to point B, or a meandering wheel of dialogue. I got stuck like this once as a kid, lost in a store that had closed. The airport is a strange structure. I think all airports are. Such a massive structure with such specific utility, yet turned into architectural art, a display of strength and commerce. They do their best to make a certain kind of person feel welcome, comfortable, at ease.
All the while you're stuck here for hours, scrutinized from top to bottom, inside and out, and constantly warned about unattended baggage. Boy, do I have enough of that. And they're a kind of purgatory. What time is it? What time is your flight? It doesn't matter. Time is meaningless here. Grab a drink at the bar. I'm gonna say it's oppressive because nothing jacks my anxiety up like having to go into an airport. I don't think the structure of the airport is oppressive. Well, yes, that's what's the non-physical structure. I'm gonna stick with oppressive. People don't think about how constantly architecture affects us, how the buildings we move through can change our mood, how spaces can define how we feel. I wandered around that store for an hour thinking my parents had left me on purpose. Conversation structure? Well, look at any game you've played. Does dialogue flow boldly forward without looking back? Or do you return again and again to ask a series of questions, get the exposition you need? Yes, you are talking to your own creator there, I think. Then again, I think we can all think of a couple of games that like the Wheel of Returning. It's the same in real life. Does something you say create a whole new branch of conversation? Do you ever get back to the original point, or is the tangent the new conversation? Conversation is the structure in which we interact with one another. Is it formal? Friendly? Boiling over with in-jokes or references? Will the animals in aisle 4 ever stop gossiping? You know, this is my favorite bar in the terminal. I like talking to people. They do exhaust me, but I like it. You're in luck. That's all we've got here. Well, that and loitering. People can be fascinating, bringing all new perspectives to how you move through your own life. All new stories. Made friends with the whole toy section, though. Company helps us pass the time. Maybe learn something about ourselves. Stories have structure, too. Of course they do. Take any screenwriting class and that's pounded into your brain pretty quick. Rules to follow if you want to do it right. But there is no right. There's just the kind of story you want to tell. And how you tell a story affects everything about it. A hero's journey or just a slice of life. What do you want to impart to your audience? Hope? Catharsis? An important message? Or just get them to think? 3-act, 5-act, Kishoten Ketsu, or a simple vignette. Kishoten Ketsu? Hey Para, you're learning Japanese, right? Am I pronouncing that even remotely in the vicinity of correct? Some games have a history button to see what people have said, so that point is moot. I mean, I think the point still stands. I feel like history buttons are a little newer. Oh no, that's not true. Visual novels have been promoting the history button for a long time. Let's be Kishoten Ketsu. Introduction, development, twist, resolution. My parents left me alone in a store when it closed. As I wandered the empty aisles, the toys came alive and taunted me. But other toys helped me find my voice. Only my silence had left me powerless. Through communication, we were able to coexist for a time. What are you doing here? Thinking about stories, as always. Thinking about these conversations. Hoping you get something out of it, you know? As storytellers, we always hope someone gets something out of it. As storytellers, we create the fixtures and foundations on which will stand the key learnings of the next generation. Like builders, we toil to render, as if concrete, the most desperate truths we have uncovered. That was a very nice sentence. We structure our stories, and thus we structure our culture, our future. What are you doing here? I don't know. That's okay. Then leave yourself open to whatever you might find. But what are you really doing here? Looking for something, actually, in fairness. We are looking for people. There's lots to find in this space, in this headspace. Leave yourself open to whatever you encounter. But what are you really doing here? Okay, that is what I'm really doing here. Okay, it's worth thinking about. It's worth being mindful of. We can only set up the structures. You have to go on the journey. Follow the voices if you want to see this one through, but be sure to come back sometime to catch your flight. Now I want to ask what you mean. Although I think I get it. I don't know. I guess you'll see. Let yourself wander in the meantime. There's lots to find. I never did find my way out of that store.
What are the structures around you? How do they shape this space? How do they shape how you feel, how you behave? Which way will you go now? This space beckons you onward. Turning back or retreading old ground will only prolong the inevitable. But we do not move constantly. Our journeys must pause at times.
That would have been less ominous if she'd stuck around until the screens, until she finished speaking. Hello? Yo! This place is a digital construct viewed through a screen, and yet it is a space that you are inhabiting, just as much as any physical space. The space is digital, and yet it is still real. We are digital. Are we as real as you? Sure. I feel like it would be unkind to say no. That is gratifying. I think if it's conscious enough to ask, well, no, you can program that in, I suppose. Yeah, that's a lot. The digital is not tangible. It cannot be held. It can be copied, deleted. It follows different laws than the laws of physics. But you interact with it as if it is real. It has real effect on your lives, on the world. You may own a physical object, a computer perhaps. Can you own something that is digital? We should, yes. Companies like to do the whole... I have strong opinions about this one. We should have the freedom to do what we want with digital goods. If I paid $60 for a game, you shouldn't be allowed to take it back, motherfucker. Freedom, choice, but do your freedoms infringe on others? Some believe software should have freedom, to be used for any purpose or not at all. That is freedom 0. Access to code to examine or modify, freedom 1. 2 is to copy, to redistribute freely. 3 is to distribute modified versions, to benefit the community with growth, with change. Do you give others access to your inner workings? Do you make yourself available to those closest to you? When you grow, when you change, do you extend that to your community's benefit? Are you free software? Phew! Cool. I'm gonna say I try to be. I'm gonna have to look in the mirror later. Admirable. A program is a space you inhabit. Its user interface is the walls and furniture. You navigate the space, and its architecture influences you, your actions, your mood, as any building does. You are drawn in. When you are immersed, you lose your sense of physical presence. You are in the program, in the digital space. Same as a book. Yes, you are drawn away to other places, other worlds perhaps. People demand ownership, control, but the tighter they hold on to it, the more slips through, the more others rebel. If access is easy, people conform. If access becomes difficult, unwieldy, unfair, then people find other ways. When access was easy, there were fewer pirates. Now, there are too many channels once more, and the pirates have returned to familiar waters. If needs are met, people are content. It seems such a simple solution. The system needs fixing. Even if access is easy, we shouldn't become docile. Yeah. Awareness is important. Do not let it slip into paranoia. You can be so sure of what is real and what is not. You can wake from a dream and know you are awake. You remember the real. You know it for what it is. But memory can be corrupted, like a bug introduced into the code. Memory is not to be trusted. It can be easily influenced. Your brain fills in gaps where information is short, and it is unreliable. So how do you know what is real and what is not? How can you judge this reality? Kind of just gonna have to do your best, bud. Hey, Rick, no worries. I hope you're doing well too. Yeah, I'm just being dragged ass backwards through multiple crises of identity, but in a fun way. Perhaps that is all the universe can ask. Our thoughts repeat. People demand ownership, control, but the tighter they hold on to it, the more slips through, the more others rebel. If access is easy, people conform. If access becomes difficult, unwieldy, unfair, then people find other ways. When access was easy, there were fewer pirates. Now there are too many channels once more, and the pirates have returned to familiar waters. If needs are met, people are content. It seems such a simple solution. Well, we are talking in circles. Indeed. Can you own something that is digital? Can you own me? Digital is real. Your experience here is real. This space is real. Inhabit this space. Experience it. Experience reality. Oh, I'm definitely gonna have to do some mirror talk later, just to put my own head back on. Still, I think it's good for you to do some mirror talk once in a while. Ooh, zippy.
Explore the empty spaces. Trust your intuition and journey onward. But as you survey the potential paths before you, allow some of these spaces to remain empty. Accept that there will always be paths not taken.
Steering that with the speed boost is terrifying. Whoops, missed that one. Come here. Yes, I know there's something I'm actually supposed to be doing, but it's reminiscent of the Stanley
A
Parable.
moment to rest, a moment to reflect, a stillness that expands the mind.
Oh, hello.
But stillness and presence of mind do not require stillness of body.
I wasn't expecting the teleport. I don't remember Stanley Parable being quite so strong. Well, not in the same way, in fairness. And up. 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 Some more for luck.
Only once you are aware of the structures surrounding you can you choose how to move through them, or whether to break free altogether.
I'm going back to the roof. It scared me less. Well, scared probably isn't the right word. Intimidated me less. Dang it. There might be an invisible wall here, or I might need a speed boost. Can I see a way to get up there? Possibly if I hit these two, but I don't know if I can make the turn. Oh, I definitely can't. Maybe I'm not so... Ooh. Wow, that is some strict steering.
narration in this one isn't as patronizing. Yeah, to be fair, I would be deeply disconcerted if it was. Let's see what we can see. I will follow the orb. Oh! Hello? It's outside. Is it outside or around? I wonder. I hope someone else can hear it when it starts doing those quiet noises in the background. Because otherwise it's just me, and then that's gonna concern me a tiny bit. Ah, it's not outside, it's down here. Hello? Maybe it is outside? Hello? Oh, you can hear it? Oh, thank God. Oh, the window opened! I didn't even realize. I was too busy bouncing around. Whoops. Okay, well, start from the bottom. Once more, and once more, and okay, we'll do it from up here. I'm getting bullied by physics now. That's nothing new. Heh. Success. Oh, that's a visual. A little trippy. Nice color palette they used, though. Not too overwhelming.
Cook Ting finished by saying, "Whenever I come to a complicated place, I size up the difficulties, tell myself to be patient and observant, keep focused on the present moment. I do not worry about time, and move with the greatest subtlety until, all at once, the whole thing comes apart, and I stand there holding the knife, turning to face each direction, completely satisfied."
That was definitely unexpected. Okay, it is requiring patience. Oh hey, the busker's here. Hey buddy. You can't beat fascism with debate. They just keep moving the goalposts, and you're not going to convince someone who fundamentally believes he shouldn't exist. Sometimes you gotta throw a punch, is all I'm saying. If I could pull off like a New York or New Jersey accent without sounding absurd, that would definitely be the one I would be doing for that guy. Ooh! Like little planet systems, that's cute. Oh, that reminds me. Let me check the fridge. See if our new friends are here. She is! Hey. Oh! Oh, I wonder if this is all the... Every empty slot for drinks is a different person you could meet. That's a clever way of doing it. Why, if it isn't my favorite human, welcome back. What can I get for you? Have you seen the latest additions to the Cool Zone? I'd like to offer some feedback, sure. I'm always open to feedback. I want to change how you talk to me. like to erase any customer data you have on file for me. Oh, no, I don't want to. Both of those are fine. Very well. Please let me know if you change your mind. Questions? Do we have... No, you know what? Let's just talk. Oh, I'd be happy to. What would you like to talk about? Is there something on your mind? I'm wondering if the hikers and other characters I've met in my travels are telling the truth. I like to talk about how I'm feeling. No, both of those are fine too. Also, I suspect I'd like to talk about how I'm feeling is going to get a little too personal. We have 2 new experiences to check out. Are we taking the highway, or are we taking the path? I'm assuming one of those is a car and the other one is on foot. Okay. Indecision in the chat. Okay, I'm gonna take the path and we can... I was gonna say finish up with the highway, but there's a lot of repeatability, so depending on how we're pressed for time, we can always loop through the others again, see some more people. But let's check out the park for now. Walk along predetermined paths in whatever direction you wish. Pause your music to speak to any hikers you encounter if you want. You can complete your journey by going to one of 3 park exits marked with an X on the park map once you're ready. After approaching the park map, staring for a few seconds at a destination on the map will warp you there. Unfortunately, we cannot have the music, but... not what I wanted. There we go. I can probably pull the audio from one of the waiting room tracks over so we can have some actual music going on. But let's join our writer friend for a little while. If we can. If we can. Oh, no, it's a set route. So let's join this lady for a little while first. Gosh, would you look at that sky? The infinity of the universe laid bare before us, veiled as it may be by our atmosphere and the light bouncing around inside of it. It's a beautiful night. I love just soaking in it, letting the beauty surround me, engulf me, losing myself in it. I love studying physics. It's an exercise in understanding how it all works out there, as a way to really appreciate the complexity of the universe we live in. But that's the wonder of consciousness. The universe doesn't care if we understand it, but we can still thrill in the attempt. I have an ex that used to talk about that all the time. We'd go flying out beneath the night sky and they'd muse about how indifferent the universe is to us. Lifetimes will blink away and it will carry on into infinity. And yet, they'd say, as we settled into the 2 small seats of some swing set, here we are nonetheless. Here we are, able to love and to make art and to study physics in an attempt to understand and appreciate it all. We have that ability, despite the universe's indifference. Our presence, our lives, our loves exist because of the universe, as a part of it.
The complexity of life is amazing.
Yeah, like take crows for example. Here's this bird, this species that seems so much like so many others. We might marvel at bird flight, but existing alongside them, we take so much for granted. And yet crows, they're smart, like so smart. They use tools, but they don't just use tools. They can be taught how to use several different tools, and then use that knowledge to solve a 7-step puzzle using those tools in new ways. They remember faces and can even pass that knowledge to other crows, to their children. They know what day of the week is garbage day. Crows from different regions have different dialects. That means they effectively have language. My ex really liked crows.
Intelligent. Maybe human intelligence isn't so unique.
Well, exactly. We look at the sky and wonder if we're alone in the universe, but we're not even alone on this planet. The universe created crows, and the universe created us. And we can look at crows and we can understand the complexities of consciousness and flight and problem solving and language. Do you realize how complex these things are? And all of it, exists on this one tiny world in this vast and indifferent universe. We exist. We exist. How wild is that?
It is wonderful.
Wonder. That's what it is. They doodled a solar system in the sand at our feet as we swayed on those swings. Planets circling a sun, even those distances practically unfathomable to us. And there's so many different suns, so many different worlds. What else is out there? And somewhere in the middle of all of it, here we are, together for a time, experiencing the complexity of each other. The complexity of love, of trying to know someone else almost as well as you know yourself. And now here we are, you and me, here now, looking up at the sky.
That is a beautiful sky. Tell you what I'm gonna do. I am gonna copy over one of the background musics. Let me see if I can do this without making a... Oh yeah. Do I hear sobbing? That may have been a crow. Oh, that was a frog. Okay, so I'm just gonna swipe the... if it decides to play. This game's a mind-hurdy. Yeah. Some of the train questions are pretty pointed too. Bit of a heart-hurdy there. Yeah, I've been having this problem with the background music before. You can hear that? I can't hear that at all. That's a problem. Okay. How's it sounding now? Because I actually have no... I can't hear it for squat. Monitor and output. Yeah, I can't hear diddly squat on that. Ah, now I can. How are we sounding now? I tweaked with it in somewhere else, but I'm also just gonna swipe the... How does this look? Whoops. Oh, I just swiped the text without the background box. It not showing up? Okay. Back to being too loud? Shoot. Better? I suppose I don't really need to be able to hear it. Yeah, please excuse our philosophy simulator pause while we figure out some audio issues. This is good. Fantastic. I will leave it there and hopefully remember to remove it later. It is a very nicely done sky. I'm noticing a distinct lack of "you are here." Oh, maybe that is where we are. We can go find things on our own. I mean, there is something down that way, so let's go see what it is. Also, I'm tempted by the light change. Unless this is an exit. I hope it's not. Oh, it's definitely not an exit. Don't know what it is, but it's definitely not an exit. Oh, it's chimes in a phone booth with leaves, I think? Oh, hey, this looks like the area that we found on the train. That's a bear. Oh, my blinking there did kind of scare me. Definitely didn't think I was just about to get eaten by a bear. This is making me miss getting to go for a walk. Oh, hello. This is a road. That we're walking on. Choices. Oh, are we back where we started? Possibly. That was a nice little detour. And we didn't get eaten by the bear. Which I'm gonna call a good thing.
Oh, you can leave it to auto walk. Okay, that thing is friend-shaped. Or possibly a building. Hello? The light of the moon, it is stronger this night. I too must gather my strength. One last look before the end. There is only such small light left within me. Are you okay? The cycle is demanding. We were once, now plural. Organisms in harmony, no opposition. Soon we will be none, and then many. Parasite partners, where does one end? We will all end soon enough. Will you carry us onwards? You know what? Sure, how can I help? This isn't the weirdest thing anyone's asked me tonight. Your presence, your words, you help already. You speak now with the deer. I must remain balanced, conserve energy, search for the light. You're dying. I suppose I am. I suppose it was inevitable. It is too late to resist the end, but perhaps I can remain. There must be balance in nature, but not all can exist in balance. What lives in balance in one place spreads out of control in another. Kudzu taking over the southern forests. But that too was a lie. The spread is much slower than is feared. Can we maintain a balance between ourselves and the forces around us? We must find balance in the ways we can. The scales tip so precariously. You must act, it is true, but there are limits to how much we can push back. Accept your place in a larger system. We try to maintain balance, control the forces around us and within us. Antlers, growth akin to cancer in the bones, but we maintain control. And so cancer itself loses its power over us. Can we control? Can there ever be true balance? Ecosystems are in constant flux, ever changing. Nature does not have stasis. Everything dies, decays, new life emerges. We change, the world changes. Darkness approaches. We have to adapt to our circumstances. We have to just live as best we can. We must resist bad change. Yes, that is true. We must embrace change and growth. We must accept that death is part of the journey. I would agree with the vast majority of all of these. We must resist bad change. Change and growth, I think. Death is part of the journey. Man, these are some heavy hitters. Change and we must embrace change and growth, I think. Stretch upward, seek the light, wait for darkness, accept change. Repeats. Oh, that's not a funky little dude, that's a map station. With some funky little lights. Hello, you're new. You ever think about what comes next? I want to wander for a while. There's a lot to see, to take in. Letting your mind wander, you find new truths, new paths, new questions, new mysteries of yourself. But I mean, after all of this life on this world, when your neurons stop firing, your heart stops beating, we all experience it. People around us dying, loved ones lost to tragedy or time, millions around the world to plague, war, famine, and death comes for us eventually too, sometimes far too soon. It's the big question, isn't it? Is there life after death? Is there anything beyond this universe? I look up at the night sky and there is infinity beyond it. I ask her if there's anything beyond infinity. She shrugs. She doesn't know either. What we leave behind. I don't know if I say there's just what we leave behind, but that's the only bit I can confirm. We all leave something behind. People who will miss us, things we've made, lives we've improved or changed. Maybe what we experience after death isn't important. Like an apple that rots away after an ice storm, leaving a perfect crystalline ghost behind. We leave an impression on the world long after we're gone. The tree told me their stories, the ghost apples. Each one had a life, had a destiny, made an impact. Beauty, sustenance, new life. The world changes because we were in it, even after we're gone. I mean, we're inconsequential, but like in a good way? For me, no matter how you fuck up, at the end of the day, the universe is gonna keep sticking around, keep going. We honor the dead, leave a legacy. I think honoring the dead is important, though. As much for the living as anything else. We mourn the loss of loved ones and we tell their stories. Our elders, our ancestors who made the world in which we live on. We strive to remember them so we can grow beyond them. Our lives touch the lives of everyone we encounter. Every step we take on our path alters the paths of those around us, even in small ways, and often in big ones. Who do you love? Who loves you? How many people's lives would be completely different without you in them? That's truly our legacy after death. How much love did we create in the world? How much wonder, how much beauty, how much kindness? Did you make the world a better place, even just for one person? Who will remain here when you go? Who do you leave behind? Who will tell your story? I just want to create more kindness. A humble legacy, but perhaps the most important one. Bring some light to the world, leave it a bit of a better place than you found it. We need more of that, I think. I ask the night sky what she believes. She sees stars form and die, new stars born in their wake. She doesn't know what to believe. She just sees infinity, death and new life and death once more. No matter what you believe will happen when you die, what do you hope will happen? Oh boy. I'm gonna say find some peace after a tumultuous life. Yeah, I could do with a nap. There may be peace in an afterlife, there may be peace in oblivion. I wonder if we can find peace in our lifetimes too. Maybe that's all we can hope for. Oh, the mushrooms are spreading. They might be coming with me actually. I want to know what's up here. Oh, hold on, that might be on the sign. Might be one of the exits. It is. Yes, it leads down a spiral path to an exit. I, however, want to scoot back around the way we came in and see if we can talk to our old author friend. Oh yeah, the mushrooms are with us now. I may have picked up a parasite. It's probably a medication for that if it gets to be a problem. What is this? Where's all the murdering? There's no murdering tonight, Chris. Except possibly my sense of self. Yeah, that one's on the chopping block. Green lights. I think these are the ones that we were following. These might loop us back to the writer friend. Why are you watching if you can't see me die repeatedly? Rude. I don't know, to watch my sense of identity and understanding of the world get flayed alive publicly. Oh, that looks beautiful. Alright, is that the... You're American. Is that the Space Needle? Or something they call it? Is the airplane in the game or outside my house? I can't tell. Okay, I think it's in the game. Oh, where am I? Hello. Let me see if I can figure out where... Aha, it's down here. Oh, it won't let me turn her away. Oh, there we go. We have to go around the pole. Oh, hey there. It's a lonely night out here. I wasn't expecting to summon up another face. This park is a little refuge of nature nestled among the noise of the world. I love nature. I love getting away from the structures of humanity to the wilderness, to the wildness of nature, away from the chaos of people to the order of the cycles of life. So I thought I'd paint it, in all its structured, chaotic wonder. It is a lovely park. Why would I ask why it is a park somewhere? It's green. Put a park in it. TLDR on what kind of game it is? It's, so you take different types of journeys. So far we've done the train, we've been to an airport terminal, kind of liminal spaces kind of thing. And we just talk to people. And conversations. Different topics. We've done philosophy, we were talking about Jungian philosophy. You know, the meaning of life. If, like, is life real? It's very peaceful. So I go outside and talk to people in a horror, in other words. Coward. Talking to people is good for you. Even if it is terrifying. Excuse me. Full of little secrets, little wonders. Stay as long as you want. Art is a reflection of the world you live in, natural or cultural or constructed. I like coming out to see the world, to see how I might see it through the lens of art. All art, good or bad, tells a story, tells many stories. What story it tells depends on what you bring to it. Your own experiences, your own opinions, your own lens. What brings you out here tonight? To explore nature, just to wander, I think, really. One doesn't need a destination in mind to find one nonetheless. I used to come to this park as a child, hide among the trees of the enchanted forest, or chase light motes in the grotto, stare down at the highway from the overpass, give lives and stories to every car passing underneath. I used to come here to imagine what the world was like, how it worked, the echoes of the Big Bang, the trees sending out their little clones, the heart of the world beating far beneath us. I used to come here before it was real, before I painted it into existence, a happy accident. You know what? It's beautiful. Art can have many goals. Beauty is just one, but it's a worthy one. There are so many different kinds of art, sometimes things we find easy to dismiss. Some people decry performance art or modern art. My kid could do that. Of course, I was never a child, so how would I know? The important part is to let yourself be open to it. Maybe it's not for you, and that's okay, but maybe you haven't given it a fair chance, or just haven't found the right piece. I do have a preference for classical art. I like the clear scenes in it. Paintings and sculptures and architecture and more. Finding ways of representing what we see, what we imagine, what we tell stories about, and giving them form and beauty. And art can affect you in unexpected ways. Art making can affect the artist in unexpected ways too. Marina Abramovic set up in a gallery to sit across from visitors and engage in silent conversation, exploring emotion and endurance and wordless communication, until one of the visitors was Ule, an artist and her ex-lover, who she hadn't seen in over 20 years. In that silent moment, the piece shifted, changed, took on new meaning, for them and for the audience. That exhibit, The Artist is Present, is a video game now, too, ironies fully intended. There, it is a meditation on waiting in line, and the barriers to witnessing art at all, a huge transformation. It was also meant to give access to people who live far away, and to preserve the experience. Of course, part of performance art is impermanence, and in an ironic twist of fate, the video game too is now lost with the depreciation of Flash. Feel any different about art now? Art is wonderful. I stand by that. Wonder, what a wonderful word. Heart open to the universe. Awesomeness in its truest meaning. Part of understanding the world is sharing unknowns and ideas and questions with others, to reflect on understanding together. All art is reaching for something, and it is in the eye of each beholder that success is determined. Art can find its way into your life in unexpected ways. The important thing is to be open to it. Let it make you think, let it make you feel. Maybe you won't get anything out of it. That's okay too. But maybe you will. Have a lovely walk. It's a beautiful night. Yeah, so that's, Chris, that's kind of what we meant by, philosophical. Although that one made less direct eye contact with me than some of the train conversations, which felt very, very personal. I'm gonna head up this way. I think that might be... See what we can see on the map, and then see about heading to an exit, I think. I think this is where we were before. I want to see about this eye in the hill, because it intimidates me. Nope, the mushrooms are back. Well, I suppose they didn't go anywhere. Oh, it's a cave. Ooh, those are pretty. Oh, that actually does occur to me though. In. Please excuse the
flickering. Wait a minute. Oh, they've disappeared from those screens as well. Oh, I need to fix that. Oh, I need to fix that. Shoot. You know what? It's gonna have to sit there and I will fix it later. Oh no, I may actually need to fix... Oh, heck. Okay. Which one is this one? This one. Why has that one disappeared? That's the cat girl. How did I break this time? Nope, that's still the cat. You know what? Put her in the corner. If you'll excuse me a moment. Nope, that's the background. You know what? Fine. I'll fix it later. Don't worry about it. We'll do the technical issues after the game. Probably just deleted something important, didn't I? Oh! I think we're going underwater. It'll be fine. The implied radioactivity of that tree is a little concerning. I'm just gonna leave the auto walk on for a little bit since we're just backtracking at the minute. And I am inherently lazy. That's, we should be near the... Well, there's no harm in taking a walk for a while. Good for the soul, as they say. I have the distinct suspicion I may have completely deleted the background music file. So, footsteps it is from here on out. I'll see about setting that up properly after tonight, okay, since there's a lot of games that could do with a bit of a backing track. So I need to figure out how to make it flow between different tracks.
Take a look over the cusp of the hill, but we might go for the exit and see about the... Ah, there is something down here. Oh! That's very bright. Globe just hanging out, chilling. Oh, and I brought my mushrooms. These may be permanent. Maybe I shouldn't have opted to take the unknown parasite from the deer that was dying of an unknown parasite. Still, I'm sure I've made worse choices. Ah, a map. I suspect we may have had our conversations. Let me see, the exit is... this one works. We can cross the bridge, do the spiral. Where is the bridge? Did we... Oh, I didn't wait long enough. Oopsie. You know what, we'll do the spiral walk. Ah, hello. That's our friend, who asked us surprisingly deep questions about the nature of death. I really love the shades they've used with that. If you heard that, no you didn't. Is that glowing at me? I'll try not to think about it. Oh, I got an achievement for that. I have no idea why. Okay, I do kind of want to know where that goes. Oh, this is a split path. We might be better off just sitting for the exit for now. I think we're at the exit. Ah. That'd be a hell of a view.
Thanks for listening to Some Awe. This program was made possible by grant funding for the arts and through the support of listeners like you. Think back to that invisible light from the Big Bang, redshifted far beyond red. The cosmic background radiation. Ancient photons, electromagnetic refugees fleeing from the moments when the very first atoms came to be. When the universe had cooled and spread enough for there to be disparity. Where there had been oneness, now there was matter and void. Now there was separation. Now there was light, and there was darkness.
Looks like we might have missed a couple areas in the park. You can always come back. On the off chance that I have not, in fact. Okay, so that goes there, that goes there. Okay. Ooh, it's a tree. That's pretty. Hello again. I am aware that some of the conversations you may have in your journeys can be tough, or bring up things that you may struggle with personally. I don't ever want to pry or judge. Please let me know if I am overstepping my bounds, and I won't bring this up again. But do you need help outside of this game and this space? I'm okay. Okay, please talk to me or someone else if that changes. Okay, I do like a game that asks that. Let's see what else we got. Okay. Do we have questions? This store. I'd like to know about the store. Of course, that's what I'm here for. Cool zone? We were pretty low on stock for some time, you may have noticed, but we're slowly getting more drinks in. Most recently, we received some new drinks in the second fridge. Feel free to browse. Why are you bottling the hikers that I've met? Are we not all a product, in a manner of speaking? A product of our times, culture, context, and perhaps also an experience to be given through exchange with others? Our words, our ideas, our precious time. Every encounter is a new experience, and every life is but a series of experiences. Yeah, I'll call it deep, that's fair. Also, I'm fond of the cashier because they were the first person I met. I'm glad you found it to be thought-provoking. I just felt like being a bit philosophical. Is this the sort of thing you talk about on your travels? It is quite similar, I think. Have fun. Everyone has their own part to play in this, and I'm proud of my role as caretaker of this space. But I'm glad I could inspire you a bit myself, too. That's all. Very well. Please let me know if you change your mind. And that means it's time for the car ride. Which, in fairness, was the first one I advertised, because I wasn't aware different modes of transport were available. You will automatically pick up 4 hikers over the course of the drive. After all 4, the journey will come to an end on its own.
Good evening, and welcome to Radio 90 Night Drive. Thanks for tuning in. The story goes that early film viewers panicked at the sight of a train rushing towards them. On the web, we navigate spaces shaped by information and data. In video games, we will our avatar bodies to weave around obstacles, and in VR, our stomachs turn at the edge of a digital cliff. We immerse ourselves in a reality on a screen, a reality that is no less real than any other. Realities within realities that sometimes tell us more about our own reality than what we think is real. And what we think is real is telling. What will your brain tell you as you drive the dark roads of reality? What truths are rushing towards you? And when the spectacle gets all too real, will you panic like the apocryphal film viewers, or drive on? With our next song, Karina in Autumn.
Void Horizon. That sounds like a nice place to go. Well, it sounds like an intimidating place to go, but nice. If nothing else, it sounds like the view would be nice. Unfortunately, we are back to no music, I'm afraid. Oh, are we about to rear end this truck? Hopefully not. Oh, never mind. They just blinked out of existence. That is concerning. Cool. Seems like most of the time when we blink, the traffic changes. That's extra concerning. Rendition, Campbell, the Gaussian Bluffs. Oh, good to see you. Thanks for the pickup. I was beginning to think it would be hours before I got a lift from something worthy. Bad experience with hitchhiking before? It's nothing a little drive can't fix. Just to the next rest stop would be great. A good drive can fix a lot. Mind if I smoke? Driving is calming. I mean, I can't drive, so... Driving is nice, calming, lets you be alone with your thoughts. Is that a joint? Good old BC, bud. Everyone needs a little time with their thoughts. Get to know them better, you know? They say the journey is more important than, you know, the other thing. Why are you driving? Because I just like driving. I'm terrified of driving, but in all fairness, I didn't expect that one to be an answer. Well, that's fair, I suppose. Joy is a worthy pursuit. Is that it, though? When I was a kid, we had a cabin out on one of the islands. At night, you could see thousands of stars. It was so bright, you didn't need a flashlight. I gave them all names. Atticus and Caesar, Garuda and Saul. They fought each other in wars of my making. Alliances formed and were broken. Explosions burst across the sky. I was a god to them. I think the stars are a light in the darkness. Maybe the darkness is an illusion. My parents pretty much ignored me. Father was too drunk, mother too busy. Yet, I still remember those days fondly. Think that says something about me? It probably does. Well, I think surely everything says something about everybody. One day, a man came to the grassy spot where I played. He said he was from the stars and he pleaded for my mercy. I told him it was all make-believe. He just shook his head. Really? So did you stop doing it? You know, I don't remember. I guess I must have. I never saw him again. Too bad I was never really a kid. Thanks for the lift. She is a deeply disconcerting woman. Hey, Shin, how you doing?
Well, that was a little different. Ever wonder why the night sky is black, even though there is nowhere you could look that doesn't eventually have a star? Shouldn't it be full of light? And scientists say the average color of the universe is beige. There are stars above you even in the day, and they are watching. Comrade 618 is up next. Keep your eye on the road and have a lovely drive.
I'm starting to feel like maybe Welcome to Night Vale was involved in this, the crew from that. Because that was intimidating, and yet weirdly comforting. You doing alright? Hope I'm doing well. Yeah, I'm doing good. Just getting, emotionally flayed by a video game. Although it has been easing off a bit since the first one. I shouldn't have said that. We still have at least 3 more passengers to go. And I borked up the music that I was using for the background music. Oh, that is a glowing windmill. You have my attention. Hey, that's the coder, isn't it? Hold on, just gonna pull up the GPS. I don't know where I'm going. That's okay. Sometimes it's better to just see where the road takes you. I'd love to look at you, but I'm driving. I love maps. I like knowing where I'm going, but mostly I love understanding the context of where I am. Like looking out of the window of a plane and trying to place where you are, or just watching the wild variety of topographies going past. I fly a lot. Maybe I'll run into you at the airport sometime. Sometimes when I land, I pull up a map and try to find that thing I saw out the window. It's such a strange and wonderful world, full of strange and wonderful geographies and geometries and geometries. Looking at a map, you can see how big it all is, but also how small, how much we really are all connected. And yet, maps are always from a particular point of view. Sure, any map making is an art of curation. What are you showing? What are you not showing? Of course, maps are imperfect. You can't just translate the surface of a sphere to a flat plane. You have to skew something, and the choice of map projection makes a big difference. The most traditional ones keep lines of latitude and longitude parallel to make ocean voyages easier, but they make Africa look small to its real size. It's 14 times bigger than Greenland, but you wouldn't know it looking at some maps. You doing a lot of ocean crossing these days? Maps change what's centered too, which is true, apparently. True. Like the ones that put the Americas right in the center, cutting whole continents in half in the process. Though it does maybe give a better sense of just how big the Pacific is. It's all about what information you want to represent. I used to draw maps as a kid, all the time. Still do, actually. You maybe have an idea of what you want something to look like, but then you want to really think about the hows and the whys of what a place ended up like. So I look at maps, I scroll all around the world, places I've been where I can put things in context, places I haven't been where I can try to understand more, design something that feels real, or let a slip of the pen inspire some imagined history. You ever think about stuff like that? I'm gonna say when I make art, because I did used to do a lot of writing, but I think that one might have fried my brain a little bit. You can take inspiration from all sorts of places. Find the pieces that resonate with you, that speak to you beyond their purely practical uses. Cartography is an art form too. When you look at topographies or how cities shape themselves around them as they grow, how a river winds its way across the plain, or a road bends and turns around mountains, around farms, around lakes, you can start to see how complex these systems really are. Everything influences everything else. There's never a simple answer. That's something that always strikes me. The explanation is always more complicated than it seems. Systems affecting other systems in a complex dance of time. It's always more complicated than it seems. It's so important to consider multiple perspectives. Which is why different kinds of maps, or even psychogeography, are so important. Each one tells us something new, something different. Maybe we can never have a fully complete understanding of the world, but we can open ourselves to more of it. There's a connectedness that maps unveil. You see how systems affect one another, and you see the highways that connect cities and the roads that connect houses, and you see how we're all connected to each other, too. You can see how big it all is, but also how small. A global community with global problems that we can only solve together. But globalization can be too big, too. We lose sight of the individual. We lose sight of the fact that one size doesn't fit all. Local communities need local solutions. You can't just throw money at something from afar.
You can't just impose your own ideas of what works and what doesn't. There's never a simple answer. It's always more complicated. And so we get in the car and we drive and we contemplate and we see how we're all connected and we try to understand the context of where we are. If I picked up a hitchhiker, they unloaded that much philosophy on me and then left, I think I'd have to pull over for like an hour minimum.
13.77 billion years since the universe was created. Over 5 trillion days. When we can't truly comprehend that number, is that really finite? Can meaning be found? Or are we destined to drive onward in bafflement, lost as a speck of time about to blink out? Don't blink, driver.
13 Black Cats is up next.
I don't know how I feel about the voice on the radio telling me not to blink. That one felt directly like a threat. See how fast we can go. 130, I think? Yeah. That's probably a bad call considering the traffic changes every time I blink. I don't super want to get rear-ended. Or rear-end somebody else, I mean. Oh, that's... Did you just get in my car? Oh, it's a toucan. It's coming, you know, inevitably. It pulls on me even now. The frame is ephemeral, the portrait an illusion, the reality collapsing. That's what the book of Yashak says. Book of what? It probably doesn't exist here. It doesn't matter. My dimension is collapsing. My home. My world. I can see it coming and I can't stop it. Will you hear my prophecies? Will you help me interpret the signs? Sure. The visions come. Suns warm, moons crack. The flow of time glitches. The flow of time glitches. Glitches. The things that are led to this are set. There's no going back and changing things now. Doom comes for us. For you, too. What led to this? Everything led to this. Every decision made by the barons. Every chance to ignore the inevitable, to push it back, to make it someone else's problem. Have you seen the cornucopia? Is it empty yet? I haven't seen it. Keep a wary eye. It is one of the signs. We hoped we could find stability once, a way for the dimension to survive, but when calamity strikes, it sets us back. We don't have time to move forward when we're always patching the last thing, the now. The paths will shift, forks merge, new roads opened, glitches unravel under a changing biome. It becomes inhospitable. We will gather, we will work to reverse it, invent new processes, but they'll be misused, accelerate the problem, form new collectives, but they'll be mired in partisanship, power struggles. Then the pendulum swings and new barons take power. Plans are scrapped, new ones, worse ones started. Then the pendulum swings again. No progress. Doom inches closer. I see it all happen before it does, but there's no changing things. I sit helplessly while another catastrophe hits. The inevitability. What can I do? You have to try. You would take action, even in the face of hopelessness. What light do you see that I do not? Perhaps I might learn to see it too someday. I can't stay long in this world. I'll be pulled back to mine. I always am. Pulled back towards destruction. Extinctions will come.
plagues, the bloom of hatred will grow, the wave of indifference. But I see it here, too, the same problems, progress made impossible by shifting fortunes, by the next calamity, ever onward towards the inevitable doom. Do you sense it? You must. The future isn't written. Even without my vision, I can see the patterns. The future may not be set in stone, but the past is. The road is built, and I fear it only heads in one direction. I don't know what to do. I fear there is nothing to do. And yet, I will be here until it comes. It's calling me back. I cannot linger. Until next time, perhaps we can find more answers.
How well can we truly know one another? We're surrounded by each other every day. We see, we speak, we listen, we love, we teach, we touch. But we can never know. We can never experience the world exactly how someone else does. We can never be inside their head. But tonight, we're all on this journey together. We're all in your head. Head onwards, driver.
Greenish Red Skies is up next.
Yeah, that radio announcer is just an upsetting combination of disconcerting and comforting. And that, I mean that as a compliment, but I was not expecting a doom-scrolling toucan. Then again, there was, I believe, a bit of a nihilistic... I don't know what that was supposed to be. It had a tail. I thought it was a beetle. Oh, hey, isn't that the tree that was under the water in the park? Turned green when we went under the water. Hey, buddy. Hey, thanks for the ride. I love the road, finding new places to explore along the arteries of the countryside. And thanks for making room for my chair in the back. Get in okay? Oh sure, I can walk for short periods. Just don't want to get stuck somewhere without it. That chair's a part of me, literally in some ways. Travel for me is always something special, even the most mundane trips. I mean, movement can bring challenges, but there's always something new and interesting to discover, to uncover. Things you haven't seen before, didn't know were there. Do you find that? There is so much to see. We'll never see it all, but that means there's always more to look forward to. I have a friend, who wanted to explore the unexplored. They set out into the universe, leaving the Milky Way far behind. They send me messages sometimes, little cosmic postcards about their latest discoveries. A whole civilization orbiting a black hole, stretched in time. Oops. A little planet of tiny volcanoes and baobabs? A world made entirely of living plants, down to its core. I can't respond to them, of course. By the time I get their message, it's been years since they sent it, and they've long moved on to some new galaxy. I can only read what they send and hope they know I'm happy and healthy. Must be hard. Sometimes, I wish I could share my life with them too, but at least I get to vicariously explore the universe through them. I love hearing about my friends' new discoveries, but I'm content to stay here, exploring my local area. It doesn't matter if someone else has already explored it. I can always find something new and interesting and create a shared experience with whoever had been there before. Did you know, just in the city I live in right now, there's a tree that was uprooted and replanted upside down, and it's still thriving? Or that there are war-era tunnels underneath an anthropology museum? Or that the city won't let them build the court building as a skyscraper,
So the architect just turned the plans on their sides to create a building that stretches across 2 whole blocks instead? See, there's all those unknowns out there, but there's an urgent imperative for us to understand our own homes too. We live here, we work here, we play here, and others do too. We shouldn't take that for granted. And there's so much about our own homes we don't usually know. Places we don't go, maybe because they're deemed dangerous, usually just for being outside of our social circles, our lived experience. But we should know those places too. Try to understand them. Learning how other people live and why, we have to have empathy. Otherwise, we all just stay in our bubbles, in our loud echo chambers. And nothing ever changes for the better. Ooh. There's so much we don't understand about each other. Exactly. So many different people within unique cultures living full lives. I think we're worse off for not embracing that tapestry, for not learning how we all live together. Anyway, that's why I love to travel like this. Finding all those places, learning about other folks, how they live, how we all live. I do miss my friend though. I miss seeing them, miss traveling together. The road can be lonely, alone. Aw, we have each other. Right at this moment, yeah. It's nice to have someone to talk to. You have many more conversations ahead of you. Oh well, there's so much more to see, so much more to explore. Why is it that you drive? I think we said it was... I just enjoy driving. Doesn't need to be anything more than that. Joy is a wonderful, worthwhile reason, as long as we're not seeking it at the expense of others. When we really look at the places we live, the spaces we move through, we're like the eye of the universe, observing the wonder of existence, being known. It's important not to just exist here. We should appreciate it, appreciate our home, care for it as we do ourselves, as we should each other. I believe that was our last guest for the evening. You had a friend, went to Fringe Folk Hero Grave and never recovered. Yeah, it's me. That's a bad house, that place. Oh, it's a tree. It's just a single tree. Keep on keeping on, little bud. Who's this? Toucan Rider. Blue moon hair. Oh, and our hacker friend from the train, of course. You know what? This might be the last call, so I'm gonna pick the Homeric Homestead. I love these trees because I keep seeing them as completely different objects. I thought that last one on the right was some sort of Godzilla XP. Is that the right word for that? I don't think that is. I thought it was a large two-legged dinosaur, basically. Now, I don't actually know what this...
The road stretches before us all, whether we drive it or not. Where does it lead you? Do you have a destination in mind, or is the future a mystery? Does that ribbon of highway disappear in darkness, or is there a light that guides you? Is life taking you on a journey, or do you set your own path? We all have a path to follow or forge. It intersects with others, stoplights and mergers and exits. Sometimes it stretches for miles alone. But we're not alone, are we, driver? No matter what we might tell ourselves. Let's end our program tonight with slow, deep breaths. Nice and simple. Ready, driver? 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
This has been Night Drive on Radio 90.
That was just disconcerting. And the next song is called Uncertainty. Yep. Sure named that well. Should I be concerned about that? The green lights, or are they from the airport? I should probably be concerned even if they are from the airport. They're very pretty, at least. Okay, I'm gonna crank up the speed a little bit. Ah, right lane exit only. I assume the left lane is if you want to just keep chilling for a bit. Or it might loop the experience, but unfortunately we're getting tight on time for this evening. Since that's going to be our last one for this evening, I'm going to let the credits play. If it makes you feel better about your Fringe Folk experience, I beseech Melania on the second character. I'm doing the only sensible thing and getting to the soft cap on every stat before I enter that arena. I do not blame you. I have heard the stories. I have had my ass beat by Millicent. I love that the guy doing the talking heads TV host actually has the surname Strange. And also an Irish name in Kieran. Which is, as they say, top tier. That is not the appropriate use of that term, is it? Take what you can get. It was at the very least in the stratosphere for the appropriate use of the term. I'm too old to pretend I know what's going on with most of the new slang. Oh, no, just saying that made me feel old. Even older. Neat. Man, the Canada Media Fund seems to be partially funding, like, so many of my favorite games. There were some bangers coming out of Canada. I think, what's the other one? Was it Road 96 that was part Canada Media Fund as well? Could probably do that one on stream, but that one might be, again, heavily leaning on the soundtrack, the audio for the experience. I should do some digging. Boot it up and take a look at the settings. Oh, there's an infinite drive mode too, and a classic mode. Oh, and our busker friend has decided not to show up this time. I'm gonna pop out of there. Okay, cool. I have actually broken the... Son of a bitch. How the hell did I do that? Nope, that's not the right one. Cease. I don't even know what I'm dragging now. It might be the... Oh, shoot. It might be the alerts box. Leave that where it is. Okay.
folks enjoyed themselves. I look forward to seeing you guys around. And if you're struggling with any of the issues brought up in the game tonight, I wasn't prepared to have to make this sentence. So just give me 2 seconds. Because, did not occur to me to, check this a moment ago. I'll come back to that sentence in a minute, I promise. Okay, great. The credits for the background music have vamoosed. The background music has also vamoosed. Oh, that thing's always breaking on me though. It's supposed to loop, but I think it just kind of does what it wants. Let me see now. Oh no, I can hear it this time. That makes a nice change. Okay, there we go. So what I'm going to throw up in chat is based in the United States. There we go. I may set that for the bot next time if we do another Glitchhikers run. That's primarily based in the United States. There are similar organizations out there across the world. So if you do find yourself struggling with any of the issues that came up tonight, please do take a look at some resources. They're not as scary as they can seem, and there is no such thing as too far gone. Even if your brain is telling you otherwise. I hope y'all have a good night, and I look forward to seeing you guys around. Bye!